Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's practice grammar. Today in this video I am going to explain you chapter 1, the sentence from the book New Grammar with a Smile of class 7th. So children, first of all I will explain you the chapter, then I will tell you the answers of the exercises. So here first of all warm up exercises given, as I have told you that I will tell you the answers of all the exercises later. First I will explain you. So let's start the explanation. Here it is written, read these group of words. Leaking the is roof. These made of are stone houses. These group of words do not make any sense. So now read another sentences. The roof is leaking. These houses are made of stone. These group of words make complete sense. So children, a group of words that conveys complete sense is called a sentence. Children, a sentence always begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop, an exclamation mark or a question mark. It also has a subject and a verb. Always remember, a sentence always has a subject and a verb. Now read these group of words. A nice story, a gang of thieves, a beautiful dress. These group of words make sense but not complete sense. So a group of words that conveys some sense but not complete sense. If it is conveying complete sense, then it is called sentence. But when it is not conveying the complete sense, making little bit sense, some sense but not complete sense, then it is called a phrase. A phrase does not have a subject or a finite verb. Okay, in a phrase you will never find a subject or a finite verb, means main verb. Now read these group of words. Because it was raining and the thieves escaped, but he went there anyway before they go to the airport. Children, these group of words make sense but not complete sense. Each group of words has a subject and a verb, but they are not making a complete sense. It has a subject and a verb. In a phrase, you will not find a subject and a verb. In a sentence which conveys complete meaning, there you will find a subject and a verb. And here also you are finding a subject and a verb. But it is not making a complete sense. So, a group of words that conveys some sense but not complete sense and also has a subject and a finite verb is called a clause. Okay? Now read these sentences. They are made up of two clauses. In a sentence, there can be two or more clauses. Mr. Jones asked him a question, but he did not know the answer. Call me after you come back from school. Since we were hungry, we stopped at a dhaba on the way. Although he was unwell, he went to school. You can see there are two subjects, two verbs, two sentences are there. Okay. In these sentences, the highlighted clause can stand alone because they convey complete meaning. So they are main clauses. Okay. Or it can be called principal clause. The underlined clauses cannot stand alone because they do not convey complete meaning. They depend on the highlighted clause to make complete sense. So they can be called dependent clause, okay, or subordinate clause. So clauses which convey complete meaning can stand alone are called main, principal or independent clauses. Clauses which depend on independent clauses to convey complete sense are called subordinate or dependent clauses. So I hope you understood. So let's start the exercise, warm up exercise first of all. Here it is given. Identify these expressions as phrase P, clause C or sentences S. So first is written, flowers bloom in spring. It is sentence. In spring, it is a phrase. Sigh with relief, phrase. And we greeted each other, clause. Because it was raining, clause. The plan of the city, phrase. At the station, phrase. Are you going to the mall, sentence. Until I come back, clause. What a happy baby she is, sentence. Now, exercise A. Circle the independent clauses and underline the dependent clauses. So, first is, this is the house where my father was born. So, independent clauses, this is the house. Dependent clause, where my father was born. Because another clause, where my father was born, is a dependent clause because it is depending on the first clause. This is the house. ये वो जगह है जहाँ मेरे पापा born हुए थे. Okay. So that is why this is dependent clause. Next is number 2. God helps those who help themselves. God उनको help करते हैं जो खुद की help करते हैं. So what is the main clause here? God helps those. And who help themselves is dependent clause. Next, number 3. If you come early, we will play a few games on the computer. Here, main clause, independent clauses, we will play a few games on the computer, and dependent clauses, if you come early, because if you come early is dependent on the main clause. हम कंप्यूटर पे गेम्स खेलेंगे अगर तुम जल्दी आते हो. ओके. I will go to Shimla when the weather is fine. So what is the independent clause? I will go to Shimla. And when the weather is fine is dependent clause because it is depending on that clause. Number 5. If we leave early for the station, we will not get much traffic. Independent clauses, we will not get much traffic, and dependent clause is if we leave early for the station. Number 6. When the teacher entered the class, he found that it was very noisy. So, what is independent clause? Independent clause is he found, okay, and there are two dependent clauses. First is that it was very noisy, and when the teacher entered the class. These both are dependent clauses, and independent clause is he found. Number 7. I did not study because I forgot I had an exam today. So independent clause is I did not study. Dependent clause is because I forgot I had an exam today. Number 8. I will call you when the film is over. Here independent clause is I will call you. Dependent clause is when the film is over. Number 9. I planted the flowers because I like flowers. So independent clause is I planted the flowers, and dependent clause is because I like flowers. Number 10. I could not go for a jog because I woke up late. Independent clause I could not go for a jog. Dependent clause because I woke up late. Okay. You have seen one thing, children. Before dependent clause you have got a conjunction. Yes. Okay. Now exercise B. Add an appropriate dependent clause to each of the independent clause. So this exercise you can do on your own, children. Now I'll explain you kinds of sentences according to function. According to function, sentences can be classified into 4 kinds. Declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, and exclamatory sentences. So first is declarative sentences. These sentences state some facts. They are also called assertive sentences. We put a full stop at the end of a declarative sentence. They are simple sentences. I study in class 7th, Ravi likes to play cricket. Mahima is cleaning her car. So, simple statements or facts. Declarative sentences are of two kinds. Affirmative, it can be affirmative or positive, and negative. Like I can play the guitar, positive. I cannot play the guitar, negative. Okay, like Ravi likes to play cricket. This is positive, affirmative, and if we will change it into negative, so it will be Ravi does not like to play cricket. That will be negative. Interrogative sentences. These sentences ask questions. We put a question mark at the end of an interrogative sentence. For example, when will you come to Delhi? Question mark. Did you like the film? Question mark. Interrogative sentences are of four kinds. They are yes/no questions, WH questions, tag questions, and choice questions. So first is yes/no questions. Children, yes/no questions are questions that need either a yes or no answer. Like, are you American? You will answer yes or no. No, I am not. Do you like ice cream? Yes, I do. So yes/no questions need either a yes or no answer. These type of interrogative sentences are called yes/no questions. Okay. Now WH questions. WH questions are questions that are asked using question words. What are question words? Like who, whom, what, when, where, why, how, which, or whose. For example, what is your name? Where do you live? How are you? So these interrogative sentences are starting with a question word. Okay. Tag questions are interrogative fragments that are added at the end of declarative or an imperative sentence to form questions. Like, your pet loves you, doesn't it? So, doesn't it? Here it is tag question. They haven't slept off, have they? See, if the sentence is affirmative, then tag question will be in negative form. If it will be negative, then tag question will be in positive form. Usually an affirmative statement has a negative tag and negative statement has an affirmative tag. Now choice questions. Choice questions are questions that provide a choice. The answer to the choice question is in question itself. For example, would you like to go to Singapore or Bali? Okay, you will be given a choice here. Imperative sentences. These sentences express a request, command, or a piece of advice. For example, obey your parents and your teachers. Please make some coffee for me. You may take the metro up to Rajiv Chowk. These are imperative sentences. Children, in imperative sentences, the subject is hidden. The subject is always you. It is hidden. It is not written because we are giving a command or we are making a request to someone else to whom we are talking to. So that is you, second person. So subject in imperative sentences is always you. Number 4, exclamatory sentences. These sentences express sudden emotions and feelings. We put an exclamation mark at the end of exclamatory sentences. For example, what a lovely idea it is. How beautiful the parrot is. Now let's do exercise C. Identify these sentences and write their kind. First is done for you. Is it going to snow tomorrow? It is yes/no question. Number 2, new leaves sprout on trees. This is declarative, affirmative. Okay. Number 3, please help me. It is imperative. Number 4, when will the program begin? Interrogative, WH question. Number 5, How wonderfully he sings! Exclamatory. Number 6. I won't follow your advice. Declarative, negative. Number 7. How many students graduated from this university last year? Interrogative, WH question. Number 8. What punishment should be given to the thieves? Interrogative, WH question. Number 9. Hurrah! We have won the match! Exclamatory. Number 10. Turn right at the corner of the temple and wait there till I come. That is imperative. Number 11. Please note the homework in your diary. Imperative. Number 12. Do you understand Aurea? Interrogative. Yes, no question. Number 13. Which ice cream do you like more? Chocolate or vanilla? That is interrogative, choice question. Number 14. Open the door. Imperative. Number 15. He is playing golf. Declarative, affirmative. First you understood kinds of sentences according to function. Now you will understand kinds of sentences according to structure. According to structure, sentences can be classified into 3 kinds, and that are simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. So first we'll understand what are simple sentences. Children, a simple sentence has only one independent clause. Abhi, I have told you what are independent clauses. In a simple sentence, there will be one independent clause only. It has a subject and a verb and conveys complete sense. Okay. For example, I am happy. She is learning to swim. Father bought a new car. In these sentences you have seen there is subject and a verb. Now compound sentences. A compound sentence has 2 or more independent clauses. The independent clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction. Children, coordinating conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. You can remember these 7 coordinating conjunctions by remembering the following acronym, and that is fanboys. F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. For example, I like tea, but she likes coffee. She was tired, so she went off to sleep. She went to the station and bought tickets for the trip. So these were the examples of compound sentences. Children, always remember compound sentences हमेशा 2 independent clause होते हैं and they are joined by coordinating conjunctions, means fanboys. Okay, then it will be a compound sentence. Always remember the part of a sentence that can stand alone and convey complete sense is called the main or the independent clause. सेंटेंस का वो पार्ट जो अकेले स्टैंड करता है, जिसको किसी पे डिपेंड नहीं होना होता है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड मेन और इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. इसको प्रिंसिपल क्लॉज भी कहते हैं. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, शी केम टू माई हाउस एंड वेंट ऑफ टू स्लीप. In this sentence, both the parts she came to my house plus she went off to sleep are independent clauses because both these parts convey complete sense and are independent of each other. If there are 2 independent clauses and they are joined by a coordinating conjunction, they are called compound sentences. And children, the part of a sentence that is dependent on the other part is called subordinate or dependent clause. For example, Marina had left before I could reach Jisha's house. In this sentence, Marina had left can stand independently and be a sentence on its own. But I could reach Jisha's house cannot stand alone as a complete sentence on its own. Complex sentences. A complex sentence has an independent clause and one or more dependent clause or clauses. The two clauses are joined by a subordinating conjunction. In compound sentences, clauses are joined by coordinating conjunction, and in complex sentence, children, clauses are joined by a subordinating conjunction such as because, that, when, until, though, although, or while. For example, she went out for a walk although it was raining. So she went out for a walk is independent clause. Although it was raining, it is dependent clause. So here the one main clause and another subordinate clause, they are joined by a conjunction, and that is subordinating conjunction. So it is complex sentence. Okay. The train had left before I reached the station. The train had left, main clause, means independent clause. Before I reached the station is dependent clause. Here again subordinating conjunction is used, so it is a complex sentence. If two clauses are joined by coordinating conjunction, they are compound sentences, and complex sentences has one independent clause, or there can be one or more subordinate clauses, dependent clauses, and they are joined with a subordinating conjunctions. Okay, so they are called complex sentences. I hope you understood. Now here is exercise D. Identify the kinds of sentences by ticking the correct box. The baby cried for food. Here the baby subject, cried for food predicate. It is simple sentence. There is no conjunction used. There is only one sentence conveying complete meaning. So it is a simple sentence. Number 2, being tired, he went to bed. Now children, here is a clause, that is he went to bed. He subject, went verb. Being tired is a phrase. There can be a phrase. There is no clause, no another clause. A single clause is there, and that is independent clause. So it is also a simple sentence. Number 3, if you study well, you will pass. So here you will pass is main clause. If you study well is dependent clause. If is subordinating conjunction. So it is a complex sentence. The earth moves around the sun. Yes, it is simple sentence. He works hard, so he will succeed. Children, here two main clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction, that is so it will be a compound sentence. Number 6, when I was young, we had a lot of pets. Here again two clauses are there, but one is independent and another one is dependent. These two clauses are joined by a subordinating conjunction, and that is when. So it is a complex sentence. Number 7, while Tom reads novels, Jack reads comics. Again, it's a complex sentence. Number 8, as it rained heavily, the school was closed. Yes, again it is complex. Number 9, it rained heavily, so the school were closed. Here, two independent clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction, so it is compound sentence. Number 10, everyone enjoyed the film, however I did not. Complex sentence. Number 11, although it rained a lot, they enjoyed themselves. Although subordinating conjunction, one subordinating clause, another one is main clause, or you can say one dependent clause and one independent clause joined by subordinating conjunction. It is a complex sentence. Number 12, Jigyasa is a teacher and her brother is an engineer. Two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction, and it is compound sentence. Number 13. The cat jumped onto the couch and slept on a cushion. Again, and is there compound sentence. Number 14. My friend has invited me to a party, but I don't want to go to it. But is a coordinating conjunction. It is joining two independent clauses. Yes, it is compound sentence. Hope all the answers are clear. We'll meet in next video. Till then, bye.